So, how's it going, everyone? It's Josh here from Invicta Media, and we've got a very lovely Sunday service for you all today. I'm here with Joe of the band Urne. How are you doing tonight, Joe?
Yeah, mate, I'm all right. I'm all right. Just got that horrible Sunday feeling where I know I'm back in work tomorrow. Like now, as a kid, and you'd be awake all Sunday night. The longer I stay awake, the further away. You don't want to close your eyes and wake up. But yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I can't complain.
I'm always doing that as well, though. To be fair, it's like just get that last thing in before I go to sleep.
Yeah, sickening.
Every time, right? So yeah, I mean, here at Invicta Media, we do this sort of thing, of course, as you can see. Check out all our socials on YouTube and as we are now on Twitch. We've got all the good stuff, music reviews, we've got gaming as well. And yeah, as we said, Urne are here today, and you guys released your debut album, Serpent and Spirit, just over a month ago, was it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It was actually the 25th of last month, but it's like 4 weeks and 2 days or something. It's the way, obviously, the calendars work. Yeah. But yeah, just 4 weeks, just a little bit over 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. The 1 month anniversary. Fantastic indeed. So,
yeah, it's been mad.
It is a bit mad. And I mean, I've seen a lot of reactions and reception from it myself, but and you said a little bit before, but how has it been since you put it out there?
Honestly, it's been mental, but the last 7 months, because we're pretty free, like really like normal lads, and like we're a small band, but everything that's happened to us, it's like wow, like Jesus, like I didn't expect it, and we've got a really great team working with us at the moment. And since December, I can only liken myself to the little ginger kid from the Snowman. I've just been floating around. I feel like nothing. I feel like I've not been in reality. And like I was saying to the lads today at practice, I was like, I'm gonna need like a week in the sun, just gonna sit there and drink some beers, because I feel like I've just been floating. And just when I thought it couldn't get any like more mental, the last month's happened, and some of the stuff in the last month, it's been like people that we admire, like in a bands from our level to massive biggest metal bands going, dropping us a message, and I'm like, you've got the wrong band. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what a div, and they haven't, and it's been mental. We didn't expect for it to be anything like this for a small band. I feel like the reception it's getting is of like, it's caught people off guard, because there was no hype about this band. There was like, so many people didn't know this. Like, there was a few people who sort of championed us and was kind of confident in what we had, and it was very, very few. And again, if you go on our socials, you would be like, this isn't a big band. But the reaction, it seems to be, people are treating it like we've done something that a band who are 10 years into their career have done. And it's really blown our minds. Certainly, like, some of the reviews have been outrageous. And it's just been a great feeling. It's mad.
Yeah, I mean, we reviewed it here and then rated it very highly as well. But one of the ones that I personally noticed as well that gave you a shout out was Matt Heafy of Trivium. All his social sites. So I bet that felt pretty good. Someone is he's just a champion of metal, really, isn't he? He always brings out the whatever bands he can that are up and coming.
Yeah, and that was mad. Like, in a way, that was kind of odd. Like, he started following us on Twitter about a year ago, and I sort of left it. And then I sent him Desolate Heart, and he was like, "This is amazing," and blah blah blah. And we left it at that. Then I found an old picture from Kerrang in 2005, where I was at a gig with a few mates, and honestly, I'm not sort of cut out for that stuff. If I remember, they were like, "Do you want to come in?" And it was about 20 people, and I was like, "Well, yeah, like, you want to go and see the gig?" And I just found out Angus is in the photo shoot, but he's so short that he didn't make the photo. But he just told me that last night after knowing about this picture for years. And so they would go, "Do you want to come in?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." And it was like they shut the door, and I feel like I was like, "What's going on here?" And they were like, "We want you to lift Matt Heafy up in the air to make it look like he's at a show and he's crowd surfed." And I straight away, I mean, I'm not walking around like Andre the Giant. I'm not like exactly a huge dude, but I realised me and my two mates were the tallest people there comfortably. And I was like, I knew what was happening. And if you look at a picture, my two mates are to my left, and I hold him up, and I've got red hair, right? I'm fucking red, I'm orange, you name it. And there's the spotlight on me. And I was like, I'm going to shine on this picture so much. My mates are having the best time ever. They're like, way buzzing. I'm there, like, sort of grimacing with, I know I'm going to look like a fucking idiot here. And when I opened it, it looks like Matt Heafy's hugging like the moon. Do you know what I mean? There's everyone else, and there's my massive head shining. And yeah, we sent in that. Like, I put a thing, and I just thought, oh, how good's a new Trivium song? Blah blah blah. And here's me chilling out with Matt Heafy when we were younger. Then he like responded, was like, wow, amazing. And I just was like, oh, here we go. I went, Matt, I'll send you a copy of the album. He's like, yeah, brilliant. Blah blah blah. So we made like a care package up of some merch, sent it to him, and then it just kind of went from there. And I was just like, fuck. And he's like he was just like, I'll come and hang out in London when we're touring there. I'm like, yeah. Obviously, you've got to reenact the picture now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, all 6'3" of them. You know, so that was amazing, and that's really changed a lot of things for us. But the one that was great, but we were like in kind of semi communication. Like, I didn't expect him to go and do it on all his socials, on his Twitch, and it has so much reach. But the weird one was we're sitting around and get a like on a picture, and it's just a guy playing bass. And I was like, I usually have a look, and he liked something else, and I thought, opened it up, and it's the bass player from Gojira, like the band at the moment. And I'm like, I call up the lads, and I've got some like WhatsApp group thing, and I was like, I thought we'd honestly got the wrong thing because it was just a random like, and I'm like, guys, you never guess. And they're like, go on, who? And I was like, the bass player from Gojira. And they're like, shut up. And as I'm talking to him, he posts a flipping story and a video of playing our music with our album, like headbanging, whatever. And I was, I mean, that blew me away because...
Yeah, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's... And then, he's got I believe he's got a copy of the album, and every now and then he likes everything we post and he watches everything. And I'm like, that's the bass player for outside of your Metallica, Slipknot, Maiden, Priest. That band is the band that everyone loves, and he likes our band. Oh, he must have been bored. Do you know what I mean? He must have been bloody bored in France. But he does his BMXing everywhere. He must have gone, oh, what's shit's on? Oh, listen to this album, and he liked it. What a joke!
Up on a playlist, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, people have had a bit more time to look at music, but even so, that's commendable, man. Debut album and already getting so much press, and so much support.
And I'm just chuffed now. Can you imagine that, though? Like, for us, like I say, tiny little band, you got like the kind of like you've got your Champions League, right, where you got your Maiden, Metallica, then you got your Premier League, and then or your Europa League, and you've got like your Triviums, Gojira. Like, and we need Mastodon now, and then that's it. We can all retire. That's all I need. Just one guy from Mastodon. This
and you've got like the hat trick. Then you got the hat trick with those three.
Yeah. I get a little T-shirt done with it, and then do a pose, and that's it. We're off. Deactivate all of our accounts. That's it. Crack it, lads.
One album and then gone. Nobody hears from you again.
But that would be it. And then we may come back in 30 years and no one gives a shit. It'd be amazing. That's what we do.
I mean, speaking of one album and kind of gone, it's not the first band you've been in. You I think it was with Angus as well. You were in Hang the Bastard for a while, and then Chapters too. So it's not like, first band sort of thing, but none of them are quite the reception as much as Urne. Do you think being in both those bands beforehand really helped you with the sort of vision and the angle that you wanted to go with Urne? Or was it a completely different beast?
I think, if anything, the first Urne EP was getting the Hang the Bastard vibe out of like our system. Mm-hmm. I've been playing in that band for 4 years, did a lot of shows, a lot of touring. I was writing for the next album, and I think it was just getting that out. And it was great. I had a great time like with that band. We did some amazing things, and I just think probably made a few terrible choices along the way. And it was the right time for that to come to an end. But with the Urne record, I feel like if Chapters could have got a lineup, the thing with Chapters, that was one band that all of our peers, people who are in massive bands now, who are like big bands, love that band. Mm-hmm. Like, truly loved it. Like, people who are headlining, flipping festivals, people on main stages at festivals, love that band. Because it was, when you think about it, a young band getting people from like Royal Philharmonic Orchestra coming on our album, and like beautiful, like husky jazz singers singing on it, Spanish guitar stuff. No one at that thing done it like I'd done it. Everyone was doing that stage of that 2011 Genty thing, and we were just like, it's not really our thing. We just want to sound like Queen meets Death and Nevermore, and that's what we obviously kind of went for. But that got like love, like people loved that album, like insane. People getting tattoos and what have you, and I'm like, you're fucking mad. But I feel like this is a great follow-up to what that would have been. I wouldn't have seen it as like the immediate follow-up. Maybe like might have been where we would have gone once we kind of got all the prog stuff out of our system. We would have kind of made it a bit more metal. But yeah, with the Chapters, we sadly, like, we had this guy who played guitar in that band, and when you get people like Josh Middleton, look up to that guy, tells you just just one of the biggest talents and just a waste. He just does nothing now. I think he works in Greg's or something, and the guy's on another level. Like, Angus learned everything he could do from him, and that's why Angus wanted to be in Chapters, and he learned everything. And Angus is like taken everything that he learned from Stuart and just made it into what he's done. And we couldn't replace him. And you know, we had some great guitarists come in, but I think we lost. It was more than that. It was losing a great songwriter. And the drummer went, and the drummer used to write as well. All four of us used to write, and we just couldn't replace it to what our standards of what we wanted from a songwriter. So coming to Urne, I knew I could trust Angus. Angus knows he could trust me, and Rich just knows metal. Rich just grew up loving metal. That's his thing. And his favourite drummers are them sort of off-the-cuff drummers. You're like, your Igor Cavalera, Chris Kontas, Prime Lars before he earned money. And, you kind of get them guys and they write fun parts. And just going down to three-piece, having three people in a band is the best thing I've ever done in music, because fucking hell. Like, in Hang the Bastard, all good guys, but four of us had big personalities. Angus used to just sit there and be like, what's going on? And with Urne, it's just really mellow. And I just wish I'd always been in the bands with three people. It's just the best thing. So yeah, I did one album with Hang the Bastard, did one album with Chapters, and this won't be the last one. Yeah. So this one, we've already started writing the next record. So yeah, definitely there'll be another one.
Now,
we have to, because we signed a contract for 3 albums, so there has to be another one or 2.
Well, 2 now at least, but yeah, at least you've got quite a lot of hype built up just following this, and we're at the time now where you can start playing gigs again, which is great. So I mean, we'll get to that in a little bit as well, but you were saying with 3 people, it's, easier, nicer in a band. Do you all write together as well? Is it everyone putting in ideas all at once, or you'll just build around each other?
We, apart from like in the press statement, it says that there's like we had to write like 10 minutes of music over Skype because obviously the pandemic, and one of them we kind of knew where it was going to go anyway. Like we kind of had it in our mind. We liked writing together, and I'd say Angus brings 75% of the riffs to the table. My ones are like, it's saying that Rich, it's weird, like Rich is like, we all help with the structures. And there's some bits that Rich has wrote, which is like he'd come up with something and the rest of the songs just flowed from there. But yeah, right, we all like writing in the room together, and Angus has the really more thought out riffs, and I have like the chuggy riffs. Like there's a riffs you could play on one string, but probably do myself like a disservice there, but it's they're not too far away from it. But like, we I spoke to Angus about this yesterday. Like the one song I wrote the most for in the album is the instrumental, which is I'm really
third track, I think.
Track 3, Memorial.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of that. That's a really big song, and it's obviously I needed Angus's help there, but we all help with the structures. Like even little bits at the end when the main riff comes back in. It was something that Rich come up with, and we all have our bits and bobs, but it has to work. Even if we're not writing a riff or not writing a drum beat, it's the way we put it together is all with each other. Everyone has a say, and I like that. I mean, there's a lot of people and bands who just leave it to one person or a couple people and they write it and then send a demo version. We don't do any of that. We record it on our phone. We put it in the middle of the room at practice. I mean, fair play to people who do it, but I'd feel like I'd be missing something if I was in a band and I wasn't allowed to kind of get involved. I'd hate it. I wouldn't be in the band. And but yeah, no, we all muck in, and we all get like our influences out there. Sometimes I want to kind of like say, oh, maybe try this and maybe that, and sometimes I don't want to ruin the flow and let sit back and let Angus do it and Rich do it or whatnot. It's just knowing when and where to. It's hard as well, I guess, because I write all the lyrics and I do all the vocals as well. I've had to. Rich wrote like some lyrics on the album, but yeah, it's kind of like I'm one of them people. And you get people who can just write songs. I can't. I've got like writer's block 10 months of the year. I don't know how to do it. If I feel inspired, yeah. If I feel inspired, I better like capitalise on it on that moment. And but no, we all take it in turns, and it's fucking great, man. Like it takes me back to being like in my first band, like with your mates and like fucking like all buzzing, and you're like. Back then, you would have to record it on like some little shitty tape recorder, and it would sound terrible, but you would be buzzing to get back in the next week. And that's what it feels like, it's the first time I felt like that in 15 years, since I did my first ever band, and or maybe even longer than that. God, I forget how old I am. 20 years. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's a great vibe, and it's just the best. I love it.
It's genuinely fantastic to hear how enthusiastic you are about it as well. Like you're getting all of the enthusiasm from people everywhere, but you guys are absolutely loving it. You guys are in the moment as well. And as you said, you're going to be writing more. So keeping up that energy for it will be fantastic.
There is a bit of a fear thing though. Like I'll probably sound like a right Burke, but like I went on Riot Act podcast, a live recording, and I was half cut. I had a few beers, and I get up, and I go, the EP. It was me being like being a moron, but I'm not saying it's as good as them. I was like, the EP is really simple. It's like Kill 'Em All. Simple. The next one, that's going to be Ride the Lightning, because you guys don't know how well we can play and how well we can write. And I went, it's the third one. That's going to be Master of Puppets. And now I'm half taking the piss there. because I was just like, people will be surprised to what level we can write. Now, if you knew chapters, it wouldn't be a surprise to you. And there's a lot of people who are like, Jesus Christ, like the difference. But if you knew what me and Angus done before, we were purposely holding back. So now we've kind of come out with this and people are going mental. I'm like, fuck, we've got to somehow better this. We've actually got to try. And so, yeah, there's a little bit of a fear. I'd be lying if I was like, yeah, no, we're going to smash it. We're going to do the album better and we're going to make it this and we're going to make it that. We know what we have to do. And we've already kind of got an idea of everything in our head. The concept's there. I've got ideas for the artwork and whatnot and what have you. But we know what we need to do to better it. And I think we have, we have the capability, we have the talent, we have the passion and drive within the band to do that. And if we knew it wasn't of like the level, one of us would say, lads, like, come on. I think one of us would, like, we would truly know deep down, and I don't think we could fool each other, which is great, because the worst thing is you don't want people in the band going, yeah, that's fine, just because we're all going to be yes men. Yeah, let's just say it to please people. No, I think if we knew something was shit, we wouldn't be doing it. But yeah, I know we've got a task ahead of us, but I think it's an exciting thing because it's the first time I've wrote a follow-up album. So it'd be interesting.
It's definitely daunting, but it sounds like you've got the foundations all there anyway, which is great. I mean, you saying about concepts as well. So Serpent and Spirit itself is a bit, well, in the press release, there is a bit of a concept to that. Its focus is on more of a darker period. So, but then you also said that the story within it is all in a different order. So even though the album runs very nicely from, track 1 to track 8, the actual order of the story is different. So I'm guessing that's something you want people to try and piece together for themselves. But was there something that influenced you in wanting to do it that way, or was it natural?
Do you know what? Like, I really liked the track listing, the track order. I think at first we had a different order, and then I was like, let's do it like that. I wanted to put Memorial 2 near the end to really mellow it out, and I wanted people to like. And then once you had that journey, like kind of some, it's not all the way a mellow song, but 3 minutes of it is. And then a Tomb So Frail at the end, having the Spanish guitar part was something that I wrote in 4 chapters about 12 years ago. And I just wanted people to think that it was just going to fade out like into some really pretty bit of music, and what I really you built it up and just bring everyone down. And then what we're going to do, we're going to finish it off on a 5-minute thrash song. And that was once I kind of put that order towards the guys, I think everyone was like, yeah, no, wicked. But the song order wouldn't match up with the story order. But then I kind of sit there and I love films like Memento, and every now and then you get them films where it drops you in here and it drops you in there, and after a while you don't know where you are. And I wanted to do something a little bit different, but more so for me and the lads. I think the track order is great, but more so for me and just the guys to have that. Maybe one day I'll post what order it's actually meant to be in. If I can find it on my phone, I might have deleted it, and I probably can't fucking remember. But yeah, it's probably easy to figure out what would be the last song on the album. But yeah, it's just wanted to do something slightly different, just for us three. It's just an insider thing.
Have fun with your own work. Have a good time with it. And if it's not fun, then it's not really worth doing.
I mean, I think if I did put it in the story order, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't have worked. No. So it would have been a bit too boring and obvious, I personally think anyway. But yeah, it's just a nice little thing to do. And it's just, like I say, for me and the lads in the band. That's it.
It's like an additional little Easter egg in a video game, though, that, that people, if they really get into it, will try and find that and look into it further.
It's like there's a few Easter eggs throughout. I mean, it's gone a little bit laggy then.
You're back now. All good now.
Yeah, I mean, like the artwork has an Easter egg in it. I mean, if you turn it upside down, it's sort of different each side. Some things are there, some things aren't there. It's just to show the world, that sort of Stranger Things sort of / Matrix sort of thing. There's like a world beyond this, and it's all ingrained
Different
in.
perspective.
And but also there's some like little like kind of like lyric things, which are like a bit of a tip of the hat to like fucking Saxon and AC/DC and King Diamond. There's just little bits throughout there, nothing so obvious, but just a few little bits that are just spread out throughout the album, and it's just a little tribute to a few bands that inspire us. So.
Yeah, it's very interesting as well because there are a lot of nods to classic metal stylings, but it always still feels quite modern at the same time. It's this weird mix of traditional and modern.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting that you've managed to capture that sound without it ever sounding one way or the other too much.
I think so, like, there's so many bands now who want to do this. We're now into thrash, and so what we're going to do is going to go to a producer. We're going to pay him loads of money to make it sound old and vintage. What we're actually doing is making it fucking sound shit. The bands back then, Master Republic sounds that way because that was like as good as the equipment was back then and whatnot. I would find it bizarre to go to Chris, I tell you what, let's go and make it sound really fucking dingy. We're going to pay you a load of money. Well, why? And that's just bands trying to be like, yeah, this is what we're into and we're going to prove ourselves. I don't need to do that. The boys in the band don't need to do that. I've been doing this for too long to be like, we're going to be in a thrash band. We're going to wear all these shirts. We're now going to say to everyone that we like this band, and we're going to call our band after like fucking whatever, Trapped Under Ice, even though there is a Trapped Under Ice, completely different genre. But I don't need to do that. I don't need to prove myself that I'm into this. Because anyone could go back and just find my history of being in metal bands since I was, 20 years ago. And what we did, we wrote the songs with the passion of being into metal since we were 10, 11 and 12 and finding it all, getting inspired by it. But as much as the songs have that, you want a production that sounds great and modern and it sounds very live. Like them old albums used to sound, they sound very live and very real. So that's what this album does. It still sounds very live. It's not perfect. Like there's some bits you can even hear like kind of like string bars and even like fucking click tracks because you want it to sound real. That's what a lot of these other people are missing. Like people are going to try and do whatever, but we still sounds real. Still has an energy. We went in with Chris Fielding from Conan, who's done work on so many great albums, and then you go and get Jens Bogren, who's done work on some of the best metal albums in the last 20 years. Get yourself some guys who are going to make it sound good, sound true, and sound like you. I don't want to go Urne. Let's go and sound Urne. Let's make the album sound like Rain in Blood. Why? It's been done. It's been perfected. Yeah. It's been perfected. It was perfected fucking 35 years ago, or whatever it is. Like, why do I want to do that? So the songs might have that classic sound, but our production doesn't need it because it would just be time stamping it to a time that I wasn't born. It would mean nothing to me. It would mean nothing to our listeners. Why would you want to listen to a band? Yeah, you can be inspired by it, but I don't need to make it sound like I'm there in the 80s because I'm not there in the 80s. And you want to have your own vibe and make it sound like you, make it sound like your band. That's what's great about as well your band. Like, it's a blank canvas. You can chuck, and this is what's thrown so many people. You have your chance to make your band sound anything like you want. Chuck all your influences and inspirations on a massive canvas and see what comes out. And that's what we done. Everything we loved about metal growing up, more so when we were growing up, not now, because I'm not as passionate. I love metal. I love being in a metal band, but my passion for it when I was like 11 to like 23, 24, it was everything. We also all like different music, but that's when I was so into it. And I wanted to capture how I felt about it. So did Rich, so did Angus. And that's what we come out with. And you can make your band sound like anything you want. So I find it really weird that people will go, oh, we're just going to make it sound like fucking Violence from 1985. Yeah, but that's how they sounded. That was their band. And we're going to make it sound like Exodus. Don't. It's your chance to make your band sound like your band. It's your chance to express yourself. Don't do it. And the worst thing, I saw I'm on a rant, the one thing that always kills me is when I've been in bands and people go, we need a riff like that that means you're going to be chasing to copy that riff. Just let it come out. Just see what comes out of your hands. Don't go, we need a riff that sounds like Master of Puppets. Well, then you're going to come up with a shit version of Master of Puppets. And that's just a dangerous thing to do because people will know it's bullshit. And what I feel like with this album, it's the audience that it seems to be, from what I've checked on streaming services and what people are coming to us, the age group are between 30 to 60 male metalheads. And, you know, some female, when I look at how many women are listening to it, I'm like, that's amazing. They're not scared. Like, wicked. I'm really glad they're loving it. Like, seems to be they've, like, felt like, wow, we haven't had a band like this for ages. And that's what we've had a lot of comments on. And even things like Dom Lawson, who, growing up, Dom Lawson is the man for metal. I was just watching an At the Gates video. He does the foreword in their new book, Dom Lawson. He's the man who knows it all. He gave us a review, and it's the most... He had 2 reviews, and they're both insane. And he's like, we desperately needed a band like this. And that's a guy I've looked up to for 20 years. To some people now, that name might not mean much, but if you know your stuff, Dom Lawson is the man. He's the man that people go and get to do the big exclusive. And for him to turn around and say, wow, I've been after this, it makes you feel really good, and it makes you feel like validated in what we've done. Like, we stuck to our guns. And we've gone, like, let's make a metal record. Let's just do what we wanted to do our whole life. Let's not make it like this. Let's just go and do what we want to do. Like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't fucking work. And look where it got us. It's, you know, we're about to have the next 3 weeks in our band history could be fucking game changing for us. And it's all just because we were true to ourselves, and we stuck to our guns, and we believed in ourselves. And lucky enough, we found a label. We found a booking agent that believed in us, and yeah, everything seems to be nicely ticking along. And again, we're not a massive band, but the response has made us feel very, very humble, but also makes us feel really good and about ourselves, and it shows that we did the right thing.
It's paid off. The approach has definitely paid off already, and it's been a month. I mean, you're going to be on a lot of people's watch lists at this point, and especially with gigs coming back, people are going to want to catch Urne at a show sometime soon. Of course they will. I mean, as you said, with the album, you've put all of your passion into it from your younger ages. You know, that's the spirit of Serpent and Spirit, really.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to bring that on gigs too. What have you got upcoming? Have you got things booked that you can say? Because you were meant to be playing a few shows a little bit earlier in the year. Obviously, had to be rescheduled.
Yeah. I mean, with that, we were meant to play some shows, and obviously the COVID thing happened. And to be fair, at the time we were working alongside someone who, as much as they're like harmless, just wasn't right for the band. And we shouldn't have been going out doing headline shows like that level at the time. Obviously, we didn't really know how things were going to turn out, but it still wouldn't have been well attended. It wouldn't have been right. So, you know, obviously COVID in a way helped. We will reschedule things, but knowing when we will reschedule them dates, I don't know, because we've got Orange Goblin 25th year anniversary tour, which is fantastic.
Fantastic one to join.
Yeah, I mean, it happened very quick. It was literally like someone was trying to push us to go on a tour with some bands that just weren't right for us. Completely not right. And it caused the first bit of stress that this band have had. And it was a really horrible feeling, because it's not something that we like having around us. If we can avoid having stress, I'm sure it's like anyone, you don't want it. And the first time we had a bit of trouble, it was really causing us some real problems. So yeah, the Orange Goblin tour come around took about a minute, and that's how long it took for us to get on that tour. Literally, I think 1 to 2 minutes. It was mental. And then next Friday we got Raging Speed Hall, and we've got another show that's very close, but it's not announced yet, and it's a good show. But our drummer's expecting his first child that weekend, so we've got a friend filling in for us who's had like, we've given him, he hadn't heard the album. We've given him like 2 weeks, and he has a job. He has his own family. And we're like, can you? Yeah, cool.
Maybe learn that one, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, 6 of the songs are over like 7 minutes. Yeah, can you do it? And so, sadly, like Rich, the first 2 shows we're going to be doing of it is Rich is going to be missing. But in all fairness, he's having to do something much better than doing a band. The best thing you can have, and having his firstborn child, that's the best. So, you know, we're going to still crack on his shows. It's quite funny. Things like Desolate Heart, we've never ever played live. All the other songs we have, apart from Memorial and Desolate Heart. So the first time we're ever going to play Desolate Heart, it's not going to be with Rich, and it feels like, you know, it sucks. But then we've also got Bloodstock, which at Simon for Bloodstock heard Desolate in December, months before anyone else. And I never really met Simon. And next thing I do, I get like a voice message from him, and he's like, "Fucking hell, lad! Like, he's a massive fan of Nevermore, and so am I." And he was like, "Fuck!" And he was just like, "You got to play." And I was like, "Because you've got 4 stages at Bloodstock. You've got the main one, Sophie, Jaeger, and New Blood." So I was expecting.
Yeah.
My doorbell's going, and I'm not expecting anyone. So if I get killed, at least it's going to be on Twitch. Otis.
What's happening?
My doorbell went, and I'm not expecting anyone. It's coming up to 10 at night. So if I get killed, yeah. Right.
It's still going?
Nope. But I'm not going to answer the door because I'm not expecting anyone. I'm going to live out in the sticks. Yeah. Definitely. And it's so we got Bloodstock. Yeah, and Simon put us on. I was expecting like Jaeger or New Blood. I didn't expect anything like the Sophie stage. And he was just like, I think the day we're playing the Sophie stage, it's actually considered that day's main stage because the main stage is only Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the Thursday, they've added on 2 extra days this year. So the Thursday, he was just like, I want to put you on at like, I think we're on at like 3:30, 4 o'clock maybe, I can't remember. And he was just like, I think you'll have a lot of attention. I think a lot of people will be on you. And I was like, yeah, no, fucking great. Yeah, wicked. I just want to watch Saxon, watch a few bands. And in the last month, the messages, the comments, everything about people going, we're going to go and watch, this is one of the bands we want to watch, and we're going to be at the front row. And I'm like, that's mad. Like, that's the stuff I did as a kid. I'd get down to the front. And Simon, one of the promoters at Bloodstock, he was like 3 bands that he wants to watch: Devon Townsend, Urne, and I can't remember who the other band was, Luna's Cool or something. I might be wrong.
Getting a bit laggy a bit there.
And I'm like,
mate, you've lagged out like hell.
Fucking hell. And then I got who does like videos for like Opeth.
Sorry, I missed like all of that. You lagged out like hell. I got Opeth and that was about it.
Can you hear me now?
That's a little bit better, yeah.
Saying like the guy who does like videos for like Opeth and all this, he's just like my favourite band in magazines. Like, yeah, fucking hell. And then, like having people like who work for like Metal Hammer, like, you're the only reason we're coming on Thursday, and I'm like, fucking mad.
That's insane.
Yeah,
so cool, but like,
well, yeah,
insane.
It's made me shit myself, obviously, because I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
you got to play the best gig of your life now.
Yeah, and I was expecting to walk out and like to go out and be like a couple of chat on the floor, having a fucking great old time. Now I'm like, what am I walking into? You know what I mean? It's like my first festival. I haven't played a festival since 2016, Rich's first festival ever. And honestly, I thought I was going to walk out. I mean, like my mum and dad would be in the crowd doing like roly polies, and now I'm like, what the fuck's going to happen? So yeah, like I've had to get try and get myself in a mindset of like this is going to be a proper big deal now. So I have no idea what to expect. To be fair, I really have no idea. But it feels like this could be a huge moment within our band history. I really do. And I know it's early on, but the vibe that's there, I'm like, right, this is odd. This is a nice feeling. It's terrifying, but I feel like it could be a big moment for us. So we need to obviously go out there, play the best we can, and make that moment be the moment where we can kind of come off and be like, right, we've given it our all. Let's see what happens. Let's fingers crossed, things start to. Yeah, it just feels like a big moment. I don't know why. It just really, really feels like a big moment. Probably going to be fucking wrong now. There'll be no one there. There'll be no one.
I really hope there are tons of people there, to be honest, because as you said, it's all sort of come about quickly, and you've played music for quite a while, but this is the one that it's like, oh shit, here we go.
Can you imagine all them people going, yeah, we're going to watch your band, and none of them turn up, wankers.
I've like one person at the front and like 3 people milling about at the back, just like, should we go to the other stage? Yeah, fuck it.
When we stop a song, all you hear is like,
get off. That's where the heckling comes in, as you said.
Yeah, fucking urine. No, but I was saying earlier before we got on, the way I describe what happened to us, certainly in the last month, in the Euros, there was this Swiss football fan, I think it was Swiss or Austrian, who in the 89th minute was crying into his hands because they needed a goal. And 1 minute later, they scored, he's got his top off, he's like screaming. And that is what we were. We were literally, no one cared. And we were just that little, and we're over here. And in the last month, I've got my shirt off, I'm fucking going mental. And it's been a complete change. And I feel like that little Switzerland fan, I think that's where he's from. And I feel like me and him are on the same fucking wavelength. So yeah, good time. I want to meet him. I'll be like, yeah, you've inspired me.
Switzerland man.
Yeah.
The crying Switzerland man. There's the inspiration behind all of Urne's strife.
No, I just feel like we've got a lot in common. I understand that fear of dread, and then all of a sudden going, this is fucking mental. So yeah, it's obviously it's a lot to take in, but fingers crossed everything goes all right. If not, I'll just make another band and release another album and split that up.
So yeah, one album with every single band, become a bit of a legend in that regard.
Yeah, that'd be well funny. But no, it won't happen. It won't happen this time. It can't happen. None of us are getting any younger, and some of these opportunities and stuff that's happened now, I would, some ways I wish it happened to me 10 years ago when I was a bit younger and I had no care. But now it's happened now, I feel like I can truly respect and be humbled by what's happened. And I'm in a mind frame as an adult. I understand a lot more of what's the rights and what's the wrongs, with just in life, So, it's exciting.
Seems like it's the right time for you guys more than anything else. You've stuck to your own guns. You've put out what you want to put out. It's the right time for you guys now. Yeah.
Like put a bit of I could have just become old and miserable living down by the seaside now with my cat, but now
you can do that and have a cool band,
and have a cool band, yeah. So yeah.
There you go. Okay. That we've got quite a bit of insight into Urne in general now, which is fantastic. And before we wrap it up, I want to say, even though a lot of people are been listening to you guys, what have you been listening to at the moment? Who's really fired you up recently?
You know what? Our drummer always says, like, I'm the worst, right? And I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm like, our drummer's on the pulse of everything. And I'm a bit of a old soul guy, like as you can see Sam Cooke behind me and what have you. I'm really shit with
You
new
really
music. I've been listening actually to the new Devil Sold His Soul album, Loss, which is great. Been listening to the new Gojira album. So me and old Jean-Michel will have a chat and a pint.
Yeah. Get
No,
get a support slot and have a good time,
mate, we're years away from supporting a band like that. Jesus Christ! And but the new album, it's not their strongest, but there's some songs on there that are stunning.
Cracking tunes in there.
There's a song, Into the Storm, and it blows my fucking mind. But yeah, no, been listening to a lot the last year is the old band called Survivor, who did Eye of the Tiger, Burning Heart. The second singer, Jimmy Jameson, went on to do the Baywatch theme, and they have an album come out in 1984 called Vital Signs, and it's just a pop rock belter. And I think, they had some success from it, not to obviously the level of Eye of the Tiger or Burning Heart, but it done it really well. This is back in time when if you got number 20 in America, that meant you sold 1 million copies that week or something, I've been listening to that, and there's a song on it with a really cheesy video, Survivor, I Can't Hold Back. And it starts in like a bookstore, and he sees this girl, and he's like, "Ooh," like blowing her kiss. It's cheesy,
really bad 80s cheesy.
Yeah, but the guy's voice it's like Steve Perry from Journey. It's that perfect, beautiful sort of tone. And I've been listening to that. What else have I been? I'm looking at some records now. 1 second, because otherwise,
check the records, man. I've got loads here as well. It's always worth doing.
These are all my new ones. Right. 1 second. So
we'll just wait for him to grab all the records. But
this is my new lot. I have my new box.
Oh, that's quite a few. Nice.
Devil Sold His Soul, Lost.
Smashing.
The new Mountain Caller.
Oh, Mountain Caller, that's sick. The album last year was sick, and then this EP's sick.
Yeah. But they're like our best friends that we made from doing music. This little bad boy.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure who that one is, but
This Overkill live album, it's literally the best sounding live album I think I've ever heard. Cream White, Operation Mindcrime, one of the greatest albums ever. If anyone's listened to it, it's the remaster. Otis, get out. The cat's jumped in there. Ocean Alley, it's like kind of a soul, bit of jazz, reggae, Australian band.
Nice.
Survivor.
As you said, Survivor.
Look at that art. Look at that.
That's so 80s. Incredibly.
Gary Moore, new album of like unreleased tracks, sadly, rest in peace. The new Mono album, me and Angus went to see this live. They've
got another one coming out later in the year as well.
Yeah. And we're in the booklet somewhere there, me and Angus.
Oh, nice.
Seamless. Jesse from Killswitch Engage did a blues band back in like 2003, 2004. And
I did not even know that. That's very cool.
Incredible record. Listen to the song Lay My Burden Down. It's the first thing we did after Killswitch. And Deep Purple live in 75 with their best lineup, David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes on vocals. Hang on 1 second, my cat.
I mean, yeah, sort out your cat, but honestly, that was possibly the best way to run down what you've been listening to. If you've not been figuring out anything new, just pick out the records. Hello, Otis. Oh, he's looking grumpy.
Yeah, you're right, boy, so that. He's just kind of into the cupboards. But yeah, no, that's pretty much what I've been listening to because it's in my new vinyl section. So yeah,
fantastic.
It's about.
Oh, bless.
Your
account just shot up as soon as the cat comes into it.
Yeah. There you go, boy. Named after Otis Redding.
Yeah, good varied list as well of stuff that you've been listening to, which is really nice. So. You what?
Another good one. Recently, Nina Simone. So you pick that up. Once Otis. Otis.
Technical cat difficulties here, people. You know how it is.
So, and I've been collecting the Black Sabbath box set reissues of Volume 4 and Paranoid. Cost a bit, but yeah, that's basically it. So yeah,
that's pretty damn good. Well,
yeah,
I think that rounds us off really nicely, to be honest. So,
well, man.
all I can say is thank you so much for coming on, Joe. It has been an absolute pleasure chatting, and I hope everyone else got a load out of this as well. Everyone watching, it's
cool.
Been brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having Otis. And hopefully I'll catch you at a show sometime. We can have a pint and just listen to me chat shit.
Definitely, we will. And I'll probably be with a few of the other Invicta guys as well, because we've got Kevin Nile are also like huge on this album. So yeah, we'll all be there at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, anything else you want to plug before we finish up?
I mean, all of our socials are at Urne Band, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I can't remember anything else.
Boring crap, you know?
Yeah, just listen to Serpent Spirit. Give it a few listens because there's quite a lot to take in. And just hope you enjoy it. And hopefully, if you do enjoy it, we can catch you at a show.
Fantastic. And yeah, it's been wonderful having you. This has been your Invicta Media Sunday service, and we'll be signing off for the night. Speak to you soon, Joe.
Cheers. Thank you very much, pal.
See you, man.